I'm going to make 2026 my most ambitious writing year to date. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim. I'm a writer, I'm a reader, I'm a creator, and today I'm going to take you over my 2026 writing goals. In this video, I'm going to map out my writing goals for 2026 while sharing the 4 pillars that I'm going to shape my writing year around. Before I jump in, let me know if you have any writing goals for 2026 or just simply any goals for 2026 below in the comments, and let's try deconstruct them together. Anyway, without further ado, my first pillar is writing my novel. In 2025, I finished writing my first ever novel. I got to the place where I could type the end, and I put my novel in a drawer for 4.5 months, and I've let it sit with the intent that I can get ruthless when I go back to edit that novel. But a bit of backstory, it took me 4 years to get to the point where I could say that I actually wrote the novel. There's many failed attempts. There's many moments where I've quit for months at a time. There's moments where I quit as a writer and decided that I wasn't going to do this anymore until I was encouraged by a couple of friends to get back on the board and try again, which makes writing my novel my first pillar for 2026, because that is my number one focus. That is the thing that I want to put my most energy into, my most attention, my most love and joy and creativity, because it's hard to edit. And with that, my ambition for the year, and this is hard to say to a camera because it means that I am sticking to it, is I am going to finish the edit of that novel. I'm going to finish the rewriting, and I am going to submit it. It doesn't have to get accepted. It doesn't have to get published. It doesn't even have to be looked at. But my goal this year is to finally submit that novel. It has taken me a really long time. It is something that I should have already done, and that's okay. Some things take longer than you'd like them to. Some things are bigger and grander, and you need to be ready for. But I feel ready for that now. I feel ready to put in the time and the attention and the love to get that to a place where I submit those words and those pages and that manuscript to a publisher. Now, a really key part to this whole thing is I am focusing on the part that I can control. I can put in the work on editing and rewriting and restructuring and reshaping this manuscript. I can also then submit said manuscript to publishers, to agents, to the world of writing, but I cannot control how that goes. I'm expecting it to get rejected. I'm expecting people to tell me I'm bad. And that's okay, because I actually have no idea if I'm a good writer or not. I'm just learning like everyone else, and I'm putting in the time and I'm putting in the effort and the reps, and that is all I can ask of myself. My writing goals for 2026 are all ambitious because I don't even know if I am good enough. I don't know if I'm a good enough writer. I don't know if my skills are close enough to achieve any of these things. And much like anything else, you have to try to find out. And so I'm putting myself in the arena. I'm going to try my best. And if I get rejected, that's okay. That's life. We get better. This is a lifelong pursuit, not one that ends at the end of 2026. So yes, to you, the viewer right now, I would like to finish writing my novel in 2026. And yes, I'm going to say it. I would like to submit that novel in 2026. Is it ambitious? Sure. But what's life without a little ambition? Which brings me along to pillar number 2, submitting my writing. My internet friend Alaina has a 100 creative rejection goal, and I'm going to borrow it. The idea is over multiple years, submitting enough creative work to be rejected over 100 times. To be ambitious enough that you are submitting your work with the hopes that hopefully things get accepted and place and get actually published. But the idea is submitting enough of those things that you get rejected enough times that you put yourself in that arena and you push yourself forward. And in 2025, I submitted 2 pieces of work to 4 different places and got rejected from all 4. But this year I'm starting that from scratch. I want to submit my work 100 times and get rejected creatively 100 times. Because rejection is this almost taboo word and it has this negative connotation. But I think sometimes, and I think we need to have a healthier relationship with the word no, because we can't have everything we want. And sometimes the no's steers us more clearly towards the yeses. And over time, I would like to create things, and people are going to not like those things. I'm excited to receive some of those rejections. And so this year, one of my pillars is essentially to be rejected more, with the hopes that you build a tougher exterior, but also build that patience muscle, and to go back to the drawing board and make better art, to make better pieces of writing. So throughout this year, I'm going to make some longer form pieces and I'm going to submit them. There's going to be a couple of fictional ones that I have kind of lined up. There's going to be some non-fiction pieces, and I'll be submitting them into competitions and into literary magazines and into publishers to see if I can get them published. And if they don't get published, that's okay. The only way that I know if I'm getting better is if I continue publishing and I continue receiving feedback and putting my work into the world. And I'm excited to do that. And if you're thinking about doing it, let's do it together. Also, PS, thanks Alaina for sharing that creative 100 rejections list, because I think that's pretty cool. She's been doing it for a while. I'll link her video to it below because I think it's fantastic. But I'm borrowing it and I'm going to be using it in my own creative way. All right, pillar number 3 is submitting my work consistently on Substack. On Substack, I published a piece of writing every week for almost 2 years. And during that time, I became a better writer. I became better with words. I became more disciplined. I turned up. I showed up for myself. I didn't grow the readership I was hoping to. I didn't really even feel like people were reading it, but I was writing it, and that was the part that mattered. That was the important part. And a few weeks back, I created a video that was me revamping my Substack. In that time, since putting out that video, which was about 6 weeks ago, I have published every single week. And I'm excited to do that. I've also been part of the community. I'm connecting with people. I am commenting on things. I have grown a few subscribers in that time. And there'll be more updates on that in a future date. But my third pillar is publishing weekly on Substack, because that is how anyone becomes a better writer. It's writing every week, putting your heart into something, and showing up when it's hard, showing up when it doesn't make sense, showing up when it is crap, and still making sure that you turn up, because that's the effort that you can control, but it is also the thing that allows you to get better over the weeks, the months, and the years. And this year, I'm going to continue being ambitious on Substack. I'm going to post every single week. I'm going to try and make that quality even better. I'm going to try write my heart out for that platform and for me to build a readership, and see what that looks like in a year's time. The number doesn't matter. What matters is I'm turning up consistently and writing to become a better writer. PS, apologies about the lighting in this video. The sun's gone behind the clouds. Once again, North America during winter makes this incredibly difficult, but we're still here and we're still showing up, and I hope this is valuable in some way. And the final pillar of my ambitious writing goals for 2026 is building relationships. In fact, it's actually continuing to build relationships. In 2025, one of my goals was to start interacting with writers, to meet them, to turn up to book events and chat with them. Since then, I've created a few writing friends that I meet and we interact with and we message back and forth. That is incredibly valuable. It's building relationships. It's learning the industry. I started a job at a bookstore to learn more about this industry that I want to be a part of. I want to understand it in and out. I want to meet people within it. I want to have that knowledge. But more than that, what ends up happening is you feel connected to something bigger than you. And by reading other people's work and learning and reflecting from those people. There is so much to be gained for both you and for them and for the community at large. At the very beginning of last year, I met a wonderful man named Matt Rogers. He is an author. I will link him below. But I just went up to him at a book event for someone else that I knew. And I was like, hey, I've been loving your videos. Thanks for sharing them. And he's like, let's get a coffee. And so I've gone and got multiple coffees with the man. And his advice and his knowledge has been invaluable. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's the relationships that you build along the way. That's what I'm here for anyway. So yeah, that's been fantastic. And in 2026, I'm going to continue with that trend and keep nurturing those relationships, keep reading other people's work, keep commenting, keep learning, and spend time within that. It goes back to one of my ideas for Substack was to actually engage and walk in the community that you live in. And that is a really important fundamental for me now. You will notice that every single one of my goals here is based around the idea of effort rather than numbers and money and success, because that isn't success to me. And I think that if you are putting a goal into the world, being able to actually measure that based on your effort is far more important than if you manage to get to 10,000 readers or if you manage to go viral, because that isn't actually that helpful other than it's a great bonus that happens. But the work that actually matters is the effort that you put into the thing that allows you to have or obtain that later down the road. And that's what effort is for me. And that is what chasing goals is for me. I think the cool thing is that these are all attainable goals and not something measured outside of my control. Anyway, this is the year that we are setting bold, beautiful, and delusional goals. And I'm excited to be here. I'm excited that you are here watching with me because it means the world to be able to share this with someone else. So I would love for you to share your writing goals, your reading goals, or simply your goals in the comments below, and we can check in on those at a later date. I have many more writing and book related videos coming this year, and there might even be a famous writing routine from a famous author. But you'll have to stick around to see that. Anyway, I will see you next week. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending the time. I really appreciate it. Take care of yourself, take care of others, and I'll see you back here next week.